Hi pumpkins, welcome back to my channel. Here you see me bringing too many beverages into the mix with not enough coasters. I was trying to find my mug rug and instead I'm exposing myself in my unorganized washi collection. But okay, we have the drinks settled. You guys asked for a little bit more of like a process video, and I would be more than happy to provide that. I can be a little bit of a perfectionist in my video editing and also when I do voiceovers. So in a lot of ways, I prefer to like talk through my process or talk through my videos like on the actual video, if that makes sense. I avoid voiceovers. Blah, blah, blah. A lot of why I do what I do and why I share my journals online is to teach you how to avoid the perfectionist trap. So I'm just going to be so transparent and tell you that like this is where my perfectionism kind of like hides out, is in tech, video editing, and apparently voiceovers. I don't mind going off script or, in this case, not even really having a script, but I'm going to fight my perfectionism today. And we're just going to talk through a little afternoon at my journaling desk. This was filmed yesterday, Saturday, and I am right now kind of setting up my whole system for 2024. I know, in October. If you have seen my previous video or two or follow me elsewhere, you know that I am already in my 2024 planner. It is a Sterling Ink B6 common planner. It is in the color caramel with gold foil edges, and here it is. It's beautiful. See, I don't even know what's going to be coming up, but I got a Midori A5 Dot Grid journal as well as a new Leuchtturm journal, and I've had many of those. If you saw my video that I posted last week, I kind of go through all of my bullet journals, and that was my biggest pastime between 2016 and 2021, where I filled up 9. So quick recap, if you're new, this A6 Hobonichi Original Techo is going to be like my work planner for appointments. The vibes are very simple, no washi tape, no ephemera, no stickers. This beautiful Galen leather cover I've had since 2018. I got it as a birthday gift for myself, and it used to hold my old bullet journals. But this Midori A5 is going to be like a true for my eyes only diary, and I plan to just use my fountain pens in it. And then this A5 Dot Grid hardcover is going to be like a commonplace book, more or less. I'm planning on like bringing it to work every day, and I think that it'll just carry me through whatever. I don't know. Who knows what's going to go on in here, but just when I need to take notes on something and don't really want to use my common planner, which I intend to have as more of like an archival, creative journal, diary, bullet journal, but elevated. If you've been following me elsewhere and have seen some of my spreads, like the spreads that I have been posting for the past year or two, I'm going to continue that kind of same style in my B6 common planner, which is that third one, just that black leather Moterm cover. And I know I've said this before, but I do believe it bears repeating as long as it is still 2023 and I am showing my 2024 planner that is just going to keep getting more filled up. I moved into my 2024 planner earlier this month because my Hobonichi A6 planner was chock full. And honestly, I was just feeling so uninspired. Instead of starting something new, I just thought that I would get into what's happening. I thought it wasn't recording me, but it's all good. I'm learning as I go. Anyway, I needed to start fresh. I needed something new. I had this beautiful Sterling Ink B6 common planner in front of me that I have been waiting months for. And B6, personally, I just believe it's the perfect size for me. I mean, A6 just felt a little bit too small at times, and I really do like a full page, and sometimes A5 felt intimidating in that way. So it was calling to me, and I picked up the phone, okay? It's really just that unserious, and time is but a construct anyway, and it's just paper. I know that a lot of people in this community and in this hobby enjoy the structure, obviously, that planning provides, and we have a whole lot of very type A people that are hyper organized. They deal with perfectionism. I don't know everyone's life story. I'm just saying that for me personally, this hobby is very fun and is very unserious, and by its nature, by design, and planning at its core really is, for a lot of people, about productivity and about optimizing your life and about being the best you that you can be. And I just feel like for me, I need to restate that my why and what I like to do and what I like to bring to the table in my journals is simply a way to document my life and not necessarily, I'm not always trying to optimize. And yeah, of course, there are goals that I would like to reach. I do like to make trackers for the sake of it, but it's more for like just data collection because I'm a weirdo. Like, it's not really because I want to like be the very best girl boss that ever walked the earth, you know? And so, because I knew that I was hopping on to do a voiceover on a 30-minute video that was in real time, and I was thinking about all the things that I wanted to talk about. Also, I keep saying, like, oh, well, no. Scratch that. I don't keep saying this. I have thought before, wow, maybe a podcast would be cool, but like, I could just start treating these as little podcasts. I would just have to actually not come up with a script, but at least come up with an outline of like the things that I wanted to talk about. So that's why I just took to Instagram and I asked the chat. I said, hey, I'm doing my voiceover. What can we talk about? And Hannah asks, any advice for taking pressure off journaling? I'm trying to give myself more pep talks. Let's see. Oh, a pep talk you can give yourself, or an affirmation you can say, is that it's just paper. It's just paper. It is for your own enjoyment. This is a hobby. Hobbies are not meant to be taken so seriously. If you are constantly struggling with the prospect of like sitting down and doing it and getting it done, maybe you shouldn't. Wow, mic drop. What's happening? I do not hear enough people with this take, and I fear that it is always going to be taken the wrong way. But I did take to Substack about a month ago, clairefromonline.substack.com. Please subscribe. This was a free newsletter where I basically was like, okay, we need to have a talk, and maybe we're asking the wrong question. This is not to say that sweet Hannah, specifically in my chat box, is asking the wrong questions. But I think as a whole, when your question is constantly over months and months and months in my DMs and in others' DMs, in comment sections or whatever in your own brain, like, ugh, I just can't sit down and do it. I can't make the time. I can't get started. I can't let go of my perfectionism. I don't know what to do. Then maybe just don't. And I mean that with all the love in my heart. You do not have to do this. You don't. You can find another hobby that is equally fulfilling. If you want something different to do with your hands, you might try something else creative. If this creative endeavor, if the creativity part and like the making something is really difficult, then there are like other things that you can do. Hiking, puzzles, reading, like there are things that don't require so much artistic effort. And I know that that's not always what people want to hear. And that's why I will take the time to also be very thoughtful and truly give you some actual pep talks. But I just needed to get that out of the way first. And I really do mean this with like so much love and so much care. But I wonder, and again, I don't really know these people personally who are asking me these questions week after week. But I do wonder like what other things you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to do or complete or be good at in your life. And if it goes beyond journaling, that's something that you might want to address with a professional. I don't think that it's ridiculous or wild to assume that if you do struggle with perfectionism in something as silly as a hobby, that you might struggle with that in other aspects of your life. And if that's the case, then that's beyond my scope of practice. And, you know, I'm a school-based speech language pathologist. Like, I work alongside with mental health professionals. I have mental health needs myself, but I don't know. I just think that maybe there are some other questions that you could be asking in general. You know, like just don't, it doesn't have to be so serious. You don't get an award. I don't get an award for like prettiest journal, best handwriting, most creative layout. I really don't even make as much money as I feel like For the amount of effort and time and energy that I put into this, it's basically like a part-time job. I do it because I love it, but the returns aren't there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't get anything out of this except for like the joy of sharing and the joy of having something to flip through. And that's enough for me personally. And if that's not enough for you, that is so okay. Like, it doesn't have to be. I mentioned this in my Substack newsletter, but like for me, crochet, knitting, probably quilting, haven't even tried that because I know that I would just get so frustrated right away. I know that like the way that my brain processes things and works. Okay, hold on, ad break. I'm just kidding. It's not an ad at all. But I ended up on the Olive and June PR list, and I don't know if it was because of a viral TikTok video or it's because I like routinely complain about my brittle nails on my Instagram, but they sent me their new stick-on manis and this really cool sticker. And so I just because it kind of matches the vibe of my new pink A5 journal, I decided I needed to go ahead and, well, I thought in the clip that I was about to stick it on there. I think I am. I just had to finish my thought before it left the train station. That's also something else with me. I feel like you can see in these process videos, and that's why I share, because I've been asked, show your process in real time. What does it look like? How do you journal? I bop around. I am flipping pages back and forth. I will write a quick snippet and then go back to something I was working on earlier, whatever. Because I can, and because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what order you did it in. That's just another example of not having to like follow all the quote rules. So, okay, another like guiding principle on how to take the pressure off journaling is there are no rules. There are no rules to follow. You can just do whatever you want. You can stick a freaking vinyl sticker of Tutter from Bear in the Big Blue House screaming blank space lyrics in your journal. And, don't do it if it doesn't seem right for you. I have been getting a little bit more feedback lately about how chaotic I am. And I don't know. I think I'm just me. And I personally don't see it as that chaotic. I mean it like so. I don't know. Like, how wound tight are we that like seeing a silly sticker makes us like flip out? I mean, what I mean to say is this sticker from my friend Jen at Jen Has a Plan is everything to me, and I cried tears of joy when I opened up the package from Redbubble. But my silly little list, like ranking my favorite ways to eat potatoes, is not chaotic. It's just a list. Okay, we have to move on. I also would like to mention, it's been a while since I've talked about how great it is to just like look at a spread that you find on either Instagram or Pinterest or something that your friend did and try to recreate it. Like, if you're feeling creatively stuck or like you just don't know where to start, you're having trouble with initiation, copy something. Like, it's definitely important to consider social media literacy and also just common courtesy here and give credit where it's due. But just copying a spread or like trying to recreate it will help you gain the confidence and will help you figure out what you like and don't like, and it'll help you develop your personal style. If you need a refresher on what my bullet journals used to look like, go ahead and watch that video that I posted last weekend because I don't know. I mean, I'm still so happy. Like, they're so cute. They're so fun. They remind me of a time in my life, and I'm grateful for that. But like, they don't look anything like the journals that I've been sharing over the past couple years. And that's because I practice. I practice by doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, the process of it, the act of sitting down and journaling many, many, many hours throughout the years, that is my practice. That is how I got, quote, good, by other people's standards. I just think I'm doing what I like to do and I'm having fun doing it. And I'm also documenting along the way because I know that so many people do struggle with initiation and also clearly perfectionism in this hobby, and I am here to break down the walls. I also want to highlight something. I think something that I can dive into a little bit more is like, don't be afraid to mess up is something that I would say. Yeah, but how is something that you might follow up with. Well, here is a great example. I am Oh, now we get to talk about Taylor Swift. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I am doing this is my semi-infamous Taylor rank situation. If you are unfamiliar with it, I will try to remember to link at least the highlight to my Instagram down below. But this is a great example of me improvising basically. I was just planning on doing these block letters without any letters filled in, and then I kind of messed up either on the T or the Y, I can't remember. It was right just in front of me. It doesn't matter. Anyway, that's when I decided to just make a pattern. So you look at the final product and you see, oh, black, white, black, white. That's a nice little pattern there. Yeah, it was because I screwed up on one of the letters and I was like, quickly thinking on my feet. And that's how I, quote, avoided a, quote, mistake. But even if I made a, quote, mistake, that's when you get to remind yourself that you are not a machine and you are just simply a person engaging in your hobby for fun. And there are no awards. Sorry. Okay, another question is, do you prefer voiceover to real time? I'm assuming audio. And I actually already addressed this, but it's funny. I don't know which one I like better still. I think they both have strengths and they both have annoyances. I can be super nitpicky about my voiceover, and if I stumble on my words here, I'm much more like willing's not the right word, but I'm much more likely to go ahead and like cut it and fix it. But also, when I'm doing videos like this specifically, I love to listen to music while I'm journaling. And so I can't do two things at once. I can't write and talk. If I'm doing a flip through, I don't mind talking about my process that way. But then I have to be really thoughtful about what I'm sharing. And sometimes, well, I've learned this from other YouTubers or people who share, but it's almost like you need a prop or something to alert your editing self that you want to cut that part of the clip. And so that feels kind of time consuming. Like I do feel like my time editing this clip yesterday was really quick, especially because I'm, at this point, like I've been using iMovie since high school, but I'm getting back into the swing of things and I was pretty quick with the editing. But like now this voiceover is taking me forever because I'm being precious about it when I just don't need to be. Does that answer the question? Of course it doesn't, because I just rambled. Anyway, so against my better judgment, I thought I would talk a little bit about Taylor rank. If you're new or don't know, in March, it was like the worst vibes over spring break, and it was so dreary and gloomy, and I was really trying to save money. I wasn't traveling anywhere. My boyfriend had to work the whole time and I just needed to like rest. And so I was also getting like no views on my TikTok, and so I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. I can do this silly little activity and just basically pal around with my mutuals in the comments. Like I don't have to worry about it going viral because I won't, because I'm getting like 300 views on my videos." Anyway, so I decided to, inspired by some videos, like there were these blind number challenges or sight unseen challenges going around on TikTok that I had been seeing and admiring. And it's basically like where you will list a certain set of numbers and then you will rank things not knowing what is coming next. And so I decided to do that with all 194 at the time of Taylor Swift songs. And also this could be, there were technically 200. Like I didn't do the Kendrick Lamar version of Bad Blood, like just stuff, whatever. Already I'm telling you too much. So I went album by album, but out of order, letting this website called Wheel of Names decide on what order I put the albums in. And then by album, I would attempt to rank the songs in pen. Like it's so important for me for people to understand that that was the whole point of the exercise. But immediately I had people that were, well, it went viral, duh. And people were up in arms about like, why wouldn't I just do a Google sheet? Like, why didn't I do it in pencil? Why? And it's like, wow. Like the density of some of those comments, I actually thought I was going to throw my phone in a pool. But it ended up, I don't regret it. It was still so funny, even though the Evermore stands were coming for my neck. And I think that I just, I have mentioned this, but I work in a high school and I was like, I know that some of these, I am not going to be caught arguing with children online. Like that's not a good look. And I'm not doing it. Like, and also You weren't even born when Debut came out. I was in high school. It's very important to me. Yes, some of those songs are going to be ranked higher than some of the songs that just came out 2 years ago. What do you mean? I did get not a crazy amount of followers, but I got enough followers from that because I've asked on Instagram, like, hey, just getting like a pulse check. Like, why are you guys here? What do you want to see more of? And some people are like, honestly, I'm here because of Taylor Inc., but I stayed because of vibes. And I'm always like, thank you so much. But I do get questions every now and then, like, are you going to redo Taylor Inc. again? I would love to, but I don't think that I'm going to be chronicling it on a platform such as TikTok because I fear that I may not be well mentally. And I think that there are just other ways that I could do it that could still be fun for me, and that I could still share, but I don't have to like. Not that I was clout chasing to begin with. It was kind of the opposite of that. I was just being a dork. But I don't want attention that bad. I've decided. My dear friend Anna asks, what are some cozy fall essentials? Well, I would love to tell you, Anna, and I mentioned this in my last video. It's also on the left-hand side of the frame right now, but the Sydney Hale Woods candle is like it's such a good fall scent without being too pumpkin-y or like too fall leaves tobacco smoke, like wildfire vibes. Really, it's not season specific. It just reminds me of fall personally, and so I consider it a cozy fall essential. I hope you understand. Next up is a cozy blanket. I have a cozy blanket wrapped around me at all times, and I wear it around my house like a cape. And then also, I would say your 2024 journals because time is fake. And oh, I don't know if this counts, but just like recipes from childhood. That's super cozy. I'm really leaning into like my favorites from growing up. Chili. I mean, I make chili every year, but it just reminds me of being a kid. And also, it freezes well. Like, that's just a good meal prep option. I really want to make stuffed shells this week. I don't know. I mean, I think I'm just going to use my mom's recipe from my memory, but I'm sure there are a lot of good recipes for that online, and it's pretty simple and straightforward and filling. And I also really want to do like sloppy joes, which also seems a little bit like summery, but I don't know. Things like that. Spaghetti and meatballs, like keeping it really simple and not overcomplicating things. I think I see a lot of recipes on Pinterest these days, and we see the TikTok chefs like trying to I don't know, out viral's not the word. Like they're not trying to be, just like I'm not trying to be overly chaotic. I don't think they're trying to be overly complicated, but I just think that like there's nothing wrong with the basics. There's nothing wrong with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or spaghetti and meatballs. That is my hot take. That's not really hot at all. I would love to hear some of your childhood meal comfort meals in the comments. I need to get some more inspiration for meals this month. Something else that is really cozy comfy fall for me are cozy Switch games. Any time of year for sure, but my friend just texted me this morning that her husband was playing something called Bear and Breakfast. Is that right? Like it's a bed and breakfast where you are a bear. I did just confirm that yes, it is Bear and Breakfast, and I downloaded Mail Time last week. It's great. Well, I'm not very good at it, and I had a very busy week at work, and people are always asking me what my Switch game recommendations are, and honestly, I've only ever played Animal Crossing, Disney's Dreamlight Valley, and Lemon Cake, which I really loved. I played Lemon Cake like when I was playing Switch games. I don't play that. Ooh, the oven is preheated and I am making meatballs. I really do like my Switch, but I am a woman of many hobbies, so I just don't spend the same amount of time that I think many Switch players do spend on it. Like, I get asked every other week, like, what Switch game are you playing right now? And it's like, well, it's been the same for the past several months, and then for months after that, it will be the same game. And yeah, I don't know. I really don't have. I think that it would be financially irresponsible for me to try out every game under the sun when I know how much time I spend personally on that hobby. I also really do like iPad games. I am a long time player of Cooking Fever and Heyday. Specifically with Heyday, I know I've been playing for off and on, but I've been playing for over 10 years, which is wild. Another question that I got is, what is No Noise November? And it's basically a time to reflect on the quote noise in your life and decide what you can kind of limit in order to focus your intentions, focus your energy, and basically just like not listen to extraneous noise. I mean this literally and figuratively, because what are some noisy habits that you have gotten yourself into? Like, are you paying too close attention to shows that you are like hate watching, like bad TV where you would rather be reading? There is nothing wrong with watching Big Brother. I'm just saying, in a literal sense, I try to slow down a little bit. I try not to have like too much background noise when I'm trying to attend to something important. I take time for mindfulness and breath work. And also, very specific to this year and this season, what can we do to have conversations that are rooted in community care based on what we can do, calling our reps, not resorting to Islamophobic or anti Semitic tropes, while committing ourselves to acknowledging the biases that we might have held just because of where and how we were raised. I've linked a reading list if you would like to learn more about Palestine below, and I encourage you to check it out. Another question I got is, how do you decide what color to write in? This was on TikTok. Really just vibes. I don't quite know how to answer this question. I'm going to have to think about it a little bit more. But this kind of goes along the lines and falls into the same camp as like, we just have to stop making it so serious. It's just like picking a color, and sometimes it's like whatever is going on. Like if it's fall, I lean towards more like warm toned neutrals, some oranges where like I might not use an orange in the spring. I don't know. Just the juxtaposition of what I was previously speaking about and now what color do I use. Again, no hate to the commenter. It's just like, just play around. Like, what's your favorite color? That's always a good place to start. Another question, what would you recommend for making handwriting prettier? Mine becomes illegible and I like being able to read back. Well, if yours becomes illegible, I would say definitely take your time. But as far as making handwriting prettier, you just have to practice. Nobody likes this, but it's just the gosh darn truth. Okay, I love you guys so much. I'm running out of time. Please remember to treat yourself and others with care this week. Let me know if you like this format, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.